Yenda usange wene ufuna kusogolele papaloti. Exercise your right. You know that your vote is your right. Zambian 18 years and above na NRC ni time to vote. You go and vote. It's your right to vote. Now we are Africa, your Zanga, it's time to vote. You go and vote. It's your right to vote. Now we are Africa, your Zanga, it's time to vote. Nina message ya banzanga my youth. Time ya fika for us to choose. Sanga capable leader. Where's the tisogolelo lo vindu vaipa. Ngandiwe Zambian participate. For violence takana e votate. Yenda ka vote, your vote counts. Whether unkala kumuzi olo mutown. If you're 18 years and above, you're eligible to vote. Yeah, I got my NRC and my voters.
Wah 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 wah, yeah 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 yeah. Sini salila, naine ni voda. Time to exercise my right. Count me in. Aye, aye, count me in. Aye, 2026 ni voda. Aye, count me in. Ni voda, ni voda, count me in. Sini salila, count me in. Ni voda, count me in. Oh, count me in. Yenda usange wene ufuna kusogolele papaloti. Exercise your right. You know that your vote is your right. Zambian 18 years and above na NRC ni time to vote. You go and vote. It's your right to vote. Now we are Africa, your Zanga, it's time to vote. You go and vote. It's your right to vote. Now we are Africa, your Zanga, it's time to vote. Nina message ya banzanga my youth. Time ya fika for us to choose. Sanga capable leader. Where's the tisogolelo lo vindu vaipa. Ngandiwe Zambian participate. For violence takana e votate. Yenda ka vote, your vote counts. Whether unkala kumuzi olo mutown. If you're 18 years and above, you're eligible to vote. Yeah, I got my NRC and my voters. Wah 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 wah, yeah 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 yeah. Sini salila, naine ni voda. Time to exercise my right. Count me in. Aye, aye, count me in. Aye, 2026 ni voda. Aye, count me in. Ni voda, ni voda, count me in. Sini salila, count me in. Ni voda, count me in. Oh, count me in. Yenda usange wene ufuna kusogolele papaloti. Exercise your right. You know that your vote is your right. Zambian 18 years and above na NRC ni time to vote. You go and vote. It's your right to vote. Now we are Africa, your Zanga, it's time to vote. You go and vote. It's your right to vote. Now we are Africa, your Zanga, it's time to vote.
Nina message ya banzanga mayouth. Time yafika for us to choose. Sanga capable leader. Where's at isogolelo lovindu vaipa. Ngandiwe Zambian participate. For violence takana votate. Yenda ka vote, your vote counts. Whether unkala kumunzi olo mutown. If you're 18 years and above, you're eligible to vote. Yeah, I got my NRC and my voters.
Wah, 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 wah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Sini salila, naine ni vote. Time to exercise my right. Count me in. 2026 ni vota. Count me in. Ni vota, ni vota, count me in. Sini salila, count me in. Ni vota, count me in. Oh, count me
in. Good morning, and thank you once again for joining us here at the National Election Results Center. And the Chief Electoral Officer will be providing an update shortly to indicate the state at which we are at in the results announcement process. And to those that are following us live on the various platforms, please do note that the Commission is here to provide the correct information for you to be able to be with. And in that same vein, without further ado, let me invite the Chief Electoral Officer to give us this morning's address. Thank you.
Thank you, Patricia. Distinguished stakeholders, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. The Electoral Commission of Zambia wishes to provide the nation with a further update on where we are in the presidential election results announcement process. Yesterday, 14th August 2026, following the resumption of the counting and announcement of results, the Commission commenced the announcement of presidential election results here at the National Election Results Center. The Commission announced results for the following constituencies: Feira constituency of Luangwa District in Osaka Province, Chisamba constituency of Chisamba District in Central Province, Dongwe constituency of Mufumbo District in Northwestern Province, and Kundawika constituency of Kaputa District in Northern Province. The Commission wishes to inform the nation that the results management process is continuing as results are being received from the constituencies and subjected to the prescribed verification procedures before announcement. So today, 15th August 2026, the Commission will announce the next set of results, with the first announcement coming at 13 hours. So the first announcement for today will be at 13 hours. And then the second announcement will be at 20 hours. So the Commission will provide two announcements rather, today. I repeat, the first announcement will be at 13 hours, and the second one at 20 hours this evening. We therefore appeal to all stakeholders and members of the public to remain patient as the Commission undertakes this important process. We further encourage everyone to continue maintaining peace and allowing the results management process to proceed in an orderly manner. The Commission remains committed to ensuring that the results are managed and announced in accordance with the law and established procedures. We will continue to provide regular updates to the nation as the results management process progresses. I thank you.
Thank you, Chief Electoral Officer. At this point, we'll allow for any questions, clarifications that you may have. And by show of hands, in case you have something you'd like to clarify, just raise your hand. Please proceed. There's a podium at the back. Introduce yourself.
Good morning, CEO, and the entire ECZ team. My name is Isaac Mwanza. I am the chairperson of the Consortium of Civil Society on Good Governance and Constitutionalism. CEO, I'm coming from Wapula Province, where we had placed monitors around all the constituencies, just like the other constituencies. What worries me, CEO, is the violence that erupted in one of the districts, Mwense, where a clinic, Chifumbe Clinic, rural clinic, was shattered. It's also a polling center. It was shattered because of the propaganda about the pre-marked ballot papers, which delayed the release of, which delayed the starting of the poll the following day. So there was a night riot. The center had its windows shattered. The light for the ECZ, the lamp, was destroyed, and some materials. My question is, what have you done to ensure that the poll staff still remain secure at that point? Because we know that one poll staff was also injured and was replaced. What have you done as a commission to ensure the security of those poll staffs? I thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mwanza. Do we have any more questions? Please move to the podium.
Good morning, Commissioner. Good morning, everyone. My name is Jessie Waller from Platinum Radio. I would like to find out if, as a commission, you have any platform where you'll be publicizing the verified parliamentary results, because the grapevine is going wild and there are changes going on. So I'd like to find out if you have put anything in place for parliamentary results. Thank you.
Thank you. Please proceed.
Good morning to everybody. I am Gladson Moses Piri from the Democratic Union Party. Thanks for the update and for your commitment. Appreciating the efforts you are doing and the efforts that the Zambians have advanced before the 2026 tripartite elections, and the anxiety which comes with the election results. I suspect that most of the Zambians obviously are expecting quick results. So far, we have at least 4 constituencies which have been announced. When you say 13 hours we are waiting for that and 20 hours we are waiting for the same results, how many constituencies on average are going to be announced as far as possible, so much that our anxieties are settled? The anxieties of others are also settled. I know everybody is anxiously waiting for the final results. Thanks.
Thank you. Please proceed.
Good morning, CEO, and good morning, the rest of the ECZ team. My name is Maurice Nyambe from Transparency International Zambia. I wanted to ask in relation to the final declaration of results. I think in the schedule that you released before polling day, you did indicate that this will be done on Monday. Now, yesterday we had a suspension of the announcement, which lasted for about 6 hours. And I'm wondering what implication that will have for that original timeline that you gave in terms of when the final declaration will be made. And then just as a rider to that, I'm also wondering when the Commission will give the nation a bit more detail about the circumstances of the suspension yesterday, because I think there are quite a number of issues that have arisen and questions that remain. Yes, the suspension was lifted, but the questions I think still remain in terms of what really informed that decision, and are we going to be given a lot more information as to what transpired? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Nyambe. At this point, maybe we let the CEO respond to the questions and issues raised. If there are further questions, we'll come back to the floor and get them as such. CEO.
Thank you for those interventions. Firstly, on the question from Mr. Mwanza, I'll start by addressing the interventions. You will recall the statement from the chairperson at the point of lifting the suspension did indicate that the security threat to the electoral process had been contained. So the Commission is closely liaising with the relevant law enforcement agencies to ensure that the process, whose key ingredients are the officers themselves and the materials or information, is secured. So we're working very closely with the law enforcement agencies to ensure that the remaining stages of the process are protected and proceed as scheduled. Let me comment further. I trust that you gave that background as part of an education to the public to say, to be cautious about reacting to misinformation. We have a situation where public property is lost because of misinformation. You're right, in Mwense, the stakeholders were called to meet, and the same fears that had led to that misinformation did not have evidence. They were all able to appreciate that the ballot papers that they had verified before the deployment of officers were the same ballot papers that got to all the polling stations. So once again, to continue to call on members of the community not to take any information they come across, verify with the Electoral Commission, be it here at head office or indeed through our district offices throughout the country. The second is platform for release of parliamentary results verified. Let me begin by saying that unlike the presidential, the parliamentary election results are declared at the constituency. So as the returning officer in each of the 226 constituencies makes that declaration, those results are final. So the first point of call for members of the public is, if you come across parliamentary results, do a quick check. Is the document that you are being presented with, be it on social media or any other platform, does it indicate that it is a declaration of results at the totaling? If it says anything else other than that, when it comes to National Assembly, ignore it. Then it's not the final result. The final result will be very clear. It's a declaration of the results at the totaling. Now, coming to head office and the National Election Results Center, I'm sure you'd understand that the Commission is prioritizing the presidential election results. However, this is not to say that in due course we will not share the consolidated as we receive them from the respective constituencies. So this information will be shared, but kindly note within the context that this, the National Assembly take second or third, rather the presidential takes precedence, as can obviously be understood. Moses from the DU, rest assured the Commission will announce at 13 and at 20 hours. For now, I'm not in a position to give you the exact number, but the Commission will announce. What I can indicate to yourself and indeed all the stakeholders is that we're beginning to see an increase in the number of results that we're receiving, and the verification process is proceeding smoothly. So we will see progression as we go with the announcement. Mr. Nyambe TZ, thank you for that question. So to recap, the Commission, in preparation for the 2026 general election, made an undertaking that the declaration of results for the presidential election will be done within 72 hours of the close of the last polling station. In the yesterday's update, we did inform the nation that the last polling station closed at 02 hours. And thank you, Mr. Nyambe, for recognizing that the suspension does affect the calculation of that 72 hours timeline. So if we do a rough calculation from 02 hours yesterday, we add the suspension period, we come to about 08 hours. So, and then we work out 72 hours from there. We still end at Monday the 17th. So we are, what will change is at what hour on Monday, but we will still, the 72 hours still works out to Monday the 17th. So the Commission is continuing to work to achieve that target so that by that time, the presidential election is declared. I thank you. Oh, okay. The second part of the question related to the detail in terms of the circumstances. I believe the statement from the Commission was very clear that what led to the suspension was the security situation, and the relevant authorities had informed the Commission, and from our own assessment on the ground, it was clear that such an intervention needed to be taken. And as the Commission had committed, a review was going to be done within 24 hours. And I'm sure we were all glad to note that it was way before the 24 hours that that suspension was lifted. So really, in short, it was the security situation at that point in terms of both the staff and election materials, or in short, the process as a whole. Thank you.
Thank you, CEO. I am looking around the room just to be sure. Yes, please, you can move to the podium. And we'll take this as our last set of questions.
Thank you very much. My name is Jonas Zimba. I am representing NRPUP. I wish to raise two pertinent issues. I'll start from the background that elections are a transparent process that involves participants you call stakeholders. It would be a mockery to come here, call us stakeholders, and you don't give us a chance to participate in what is going on. For example, what was happening yesterday was not at all impressive, where you would come in, you don't want to speak to the people you're calling stakeholders, and you go out. If we want to make the process transparent, let us engage each other and see how we move forward. Secondly, I am looking at the decision that was made by ECZ yesterday. That decision was illegal. You do not have the authority to suspend an election. But what the Commission has is the authority to approve a request from the presiding officer to suspend an election. You did not present before this House any 13,529 requests from polling stations or presiding officers who are saying there was a problem. That in itself is a problem. You didn't have that authority. I'll also conclude by saying that as we go forward, there must be no Gen 20 forms that are printed in this place. Gen 20 forms are handwritten. So before you announce any results, let us engage as stakeholders, as well as the Commission, agree on those results, and then you can make the announcement. Thank you very much.
If you have a question, my suggestion is just quickly move to the podium. I'll see you from here. It will help. We have about 4 or so podiums, so let's do that. Please proceed with your question.
Good morning. My name is Joanne Musabila from Prime TV. I just wanted to find out from the Commission yesterday's announcement with regards to the suspension of the announcement and counting of results, citing post staff security and also the issue of theft in some instances. I just wanted to find out from the Commission if at all the Commission is accounting for the theft of the ballot papers and how they're doing it. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Let's proceed to the next podium.
All right. Thank you very much, Corporate Affairs Manager, and also the Chief Electoral Officer, Mr. Kasaro. Thank you very much. My name is Innocent Piri from KBN Television. As I begin my questions I have, I want to call upon the conscience of the Electoral Commission of Zambia officials and ourselves in this building, with the fact that we were accredited to be in here together with some international media who are in here. And as you know that the media is here to ask questions and to take note. So in short, we are skilled to basically ask questions or get clarity in an event where we are not clear. So I want to appeal to your conscience, CEO and your team, that maybe going forward, try to find it within your heart to engage us, the stakeholders, especially with them from the media. We will not be here just for the sake of listening, then from there you step aside. I think we're taken aback a little bit at some point. I'm speaking as a journalist, but also as a stakeholder in this particular auditorium. I thought I would put that on record, riding on what the Council has mentioned. Secondly, you realize that some of these questions we should have asked them maybe 2 days ago or 3 days ago, but we were somehow, for lack of better words, left behind or abandoned, so we couldn't ask them. The question I have to you, the Commission, is first of all, to find out the Windsor incident which happened on the voting day on Thursday. I was among the journalists that went on site to go and check what was going on in there. And I engaged the officials from the Commission to find out why the commotion which happened. Because rumor had it that at the time when the Commission officially closed the voting process, later on there was some disruption which was necessitated by some purported students within that area. And therefore, your officials found it fit to reopen the voting process beyond the stipulated constitutional timeline. When I engage your officials, CEO and your team, you will be surprised to hear the response I got, in that I was told that yes, we did not want to allow those students to come in because yes, we had closed, but they came with some confusion and they were chanting some violent slogans out there. So we said, let's use diplomacy. By allowing them to get inside, we give them ballot papers to to do a dummy as though they are voting. But in the actual sense, we know that we will not admit those ballot papers. And then I questioned, said, does the Constitution allow you to do a dummy on a voting day? I thought that when the closing duration closes, you cannot reopen it regardless of the circumstances. So that was something that I would want to you to clarify with your team. Also, NGOCC board member was captured along the way, Madam Leah Muteva. She actually spent the night in police cells because her phone was confiscated. These are stakeholders. What are you doing, CEO and your team, to ensure that people are protected, people are not harassed, but also in terms of security? Of course, I have to conclude. I have to end. I had a lot, but I have to reserve time for other people. Something quite burning in the Republic of Zambia, especially in this particular election. Yes, we do have value, the peace we have enjoyed as a country for the last 62 years of our independence. But however, this election seemed to have brought a different touch altogether. Yes, the dynamics have changed because of maybe the constitution. But it's something which is burning in the minds and the hearts of many people is that in an effort to enhance security, you brought in other faces or military wings, such as others are calling them soldiers, others are calling them commandos. The question is, why deploying soldiers or commandos, as it were, in this particular election? Were the police going to be incapable to handle the peace of this country, which we have enjoyed for many years? That, I thought, it could be clarified. Thank you very much for your attention.
Good morning, CEO. My name is Leslie Chikuse, President of the Republican Progressive Party, the UPND Alliance spokesperson. I just wanted to find out, yesterday you gave us good counsel that declaration of declaring that you are a winner before the Electoral Commission of Zambia is a crime. Now, we wanted to find out, apart from the criminal aspect of it, which is very important, do we have any administrative methods that the Electoral Commission of Zambia do undertake to try and avoid this recurrence? I'm saying this because of these declarations, we saw some properties damaged, where some unruly cadres went to celebrate in a very obvious, awkward fashion. So we are looking at these declarations. How do we ensure that, apart from the prosecution part of it, the criminal aspect, there is intervention to avoid a recurrence or to subpoena such people so that we don't have a chaotic, election? And then also we want to appeal from the UPND Alliance that we shall depend on this, electoral body for the announcement of elections, and that we don't want to have situations where people go and make declarations and create tension in this country. Because as a country, we've got a duty to ensure that we have a peaceful atmosphere, and the mandated institution that is given the authority to declare elections is you, the people that are seated there, and others that are not there. So please, how do we deal with these people that are deliberately trying to create tension? And then also, lastly, we had before the elections people declaring that they were ready to kill and to be killed. Have you put sufficient security to ensure that no citizen of Zambia must be touched because of an election? I thank you.
Thank you very much, CEO. My name is David Mvula. I'm the Executive Director for Common Grounds Network, and I'm also the Vice Chairperson of Civil Society Alliance on Legal Reforms. My intervention this morning, the Electoral Process Act if we look at the Electoral Process Act, if we look at the Constitution, it gives the power to the Commission to conduct elections. Conducting elections also entails that the Commission is empowered to employ election officers to conduct those elections on their behalf. So when people come to this podium to say the Commission does not have power, then I'm saying to myself, then which commission would have that power to conduct these elections? Because everything is prescribed in the law. It is prescribed. I just want to encourage colleagues that when they come to the podium suggesting that the Commission does not have the power, they should quote the law where that provision is. Specific to say, here you don't have the power. Let us not come here to try to cause commotion. ECZ is not conducting election in isolation. We are witnesses to these elections. That is why we are called election monitors, election observers. That is why we are here. So let us sober up and allow the process to roll out. Secondly, I just want to say something that there have been misinformation on the media. Misinformation, misleading misinformation about these elections. I would want to ask the CEO how the Electoral Commission of Zambia agencies to curtail this misinformation. If it is on the media, how is the Commission working with ZICTA to ensure that those who are spreading misinformation about these elections could be arrested? If we're going to have a transparent, free and fair election, we need to ensure that all arms of government are put in place in their mandate to curtail such an arrest, because we don't want, this process has been peaceful from the time we started. The poll day was very peaceful. People should not start causing confusion as the Commission is counting the votes. I thank you.
Let me just quickly get an indication of how many people we have with questions. Okay, so we are capping at the last 3 so that we conclude. Let's proceed.
Thank you very much. Good morning, CEO. My name is Wali Anondo, a bona fide citizen of this republic and a member of NRPUP media team, national media team. CEO, the first day when you addressed this house, I brought to your attention concerning Honorable Mao Sampa's conduct, which earlier you described as a crime or a criminal conduct. And your response was that at that time, you had not received or seen the purported picture which he took inside the polling station as he was voting. The country would wish to know if up to now the Commission has not seen that picture. Secondly, when you suspended the counting and the announcement of elections, you cited one of the reasons that certain criminals somewhere went into polling stations and store ballot papers. The country would want to know what has happened to those stolen ballot papers. Thank you very much.
Good morning, CEO. Good morning, members of the Commission. My name is Mohango Gift Shawezi. I'm from KTV Africa, Kutika TV Africa. I would like to echo my colleague's sentiments, especially my friend from KBN and also the gentleman from TIZ. The issue of giving us half-baked information is putting us, your stakeholders, especially the media, in an awkward situation because people out there are expecting us to give them information, especially after the suspension. You intimated to us that a statement will be given and I think posted on your platforms. But where you suspend a process of such magnitude and then you post a one-page statement, how do we explain the circumstances that lead to it? Because these are burning questions. People out there need to know. Like we are asking, what happened to the ballot boxes? Where are those pockets of violence? People are asking questions. And when our colleague from TIZ asked the question, I think the perspective, CEO, that you took is the fact that it was explained during the briefing. But you just gave us the reasons as to why, but never told us exactly the bottom lines, the specific reasons that we need to know. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm Max Moe from the UPND. It's just a rider on our alliance partner, our leader Chikose's question. On yesterday's guidance by the Electoral Commission of Zambia, we do acknowledge that one of the candidates, President Mundubile of the NRPUP, declared himself a winner, after which his own members went on rampage, in some cases destroying property, taking over or grabbing trading centers, and causing a lot of havoc in some parts of Lusaka. We would want to know what remedies the ECZ has administered to see to it that this perpetrator is handled as per law established. The other one is a comment which I need to also make in relation to the suspension. Our considered view as a party is that the Constitution of Zambia, of course, mandates the Electoral Commission of Zambia to preside over all electoral processes. And we do believe that the ECZ is not a court to be moved by someone else. It can actually move itself when they see it fit to remedy a particular situation. In view of this, we want to indicate that it's not statute bound that someone must first of all report. That's when they move in, because they are not adversarial. They can also be inquisitorial. They can inquire in a particular matter and make a decision. We submit.
Thank you very much. I would like to close at Mr. Small. There's already some, I said, can we see the people that need to ask questions? I saw 3 hands. Now I'm seeing another person. Please proceed and I'll cap it at that. So anybody else on the podium, please bear with me. Mr. Kasonde Mwenda has just walked in and is already raising his hand. Mr. Kasonde Mwenda, sir, you've just walked in and they're already raising your hand. Okay, let's see what we can do. Sir, may I request that you sit for now? Let the CEO respond because I need to just check. I'm seeing more hands going up. Just be near the podium. Don't go far. Don't go far. You can sit almost near there. We'll call you back to the podium. So let's respond to the issues, questions and concerns raised, because I see a number of stakeholders want to still interact.
Thank you. I'll proceed to address the questions. The first question from Mr. Jonas. Firstly, I think that the fact that I'm here today together with colleagues from management is a recognition that the Commission places importance in these interactions, especially that it is the Commission that established this National Results Center for purposes of sharing information on the 2026 general election. Now, as developments occur, there may be instances where a statement will be read and like yesterday, a statement was read and no opportunity was given for question and answer because of the circumstances in which we found ourselves in and needed to address urgent things that were developing situations that led to that same statement and continued to be monitored. So the fact that we're here today, to repeat myself, and having this interaction means that is a testimony that we appreciate, and we will be available to be able to take clarifications and explain things as we go along. So in addition, members of the press, once again, the fact that we are here, probably our consciences have already been spoken to. You say you'd like to appeal to our conscience, but the fact that we are here means that this has always been a plan of the Commission and is the policy. So please rest assured we'll be available to address the concerns as much as we can. Now, secondly, there was an allusion to the fact that the Commission suspended the election. Probably to clarify, the statement was very clear. What was suspended was counting an announcement, not the election. So that needed to be clear. As to the question of authority, I think the Commission put forward its understanding of the legal mandate it has and the reasons for that suspension. You have a different interpretation. We will leave it there, but I think that's understood. Let me clarify on the issues of Gen 20s. I think we've come across this information also on social media, that in the results management process, I think right from the beginning, as we've been explaining, is that the results management process starts from the polling station. Now, our polling station are not computerized. The processes there are entirely manual. And when it comes to the presidential election, the document, the announcement form document at the polling station is referred to as Gen 20. That document is completed by hand. So the names of the candidates and the votes obtained are completed by the presiding officer by hand. Upon conclusion of the process or processes at the polling stations, the presiding officers proceed to the totaling centers. So they proceed to their constituency centers. At that point, the result from the polling station is read out, and then upon reading it out to the audience within the center, the result is handed over to an appropriate officer for capture into our results management system. And now that system is the one that is used for adding up the votes in that constituency for each of the candidates. And the totals for that constituency is a printout of the system. And the form is also called Gen 20, but it has an A at the end. It's a Gen 20A. And that form, the figures, the candidate names, and the votes, total votes obtained in that constituency are computer printed. The returning officer does not need to write those by hand. Okay? So it is that form, the computer printed out form that bears the ECZ logo, and it's a Gen 20A, that is used by the returning officer at the constituency to announce the results of the presidential election at the constituency. Remember, the operative word is announce. They're not declaring, they're announcing. So once again, rather 20B. So once again, sorry, let me correct myself, it's 20B. Okay, but just note that there's a letter at the end of the 20, not just 20, Gen 20. So the important thing to note is that it's a computer printout. So when we're comparing these two forms, let's take note of that distinction. There's a Gen 20 from the polling station completed by the presiding officer, and there's a Gen 20B at the constituency center that is computer generated, albeit signed by the returning officer before the announcement is made. So let's make that distinction very clear. There was a question on the ballot papers in ballot boxes that were reported stolen. Yes, the Commission is accounting for this. So as the Commission continues to announce the results, and specifically when these constituencies will be announced, detailed information will be provided for this so that the nation can appreciate how the votes that had been cast have been accounted for those particular polling stations. So for now, they're not among those that the Commission is announcing. So when we get to the point where we announce the results for example, Mandevu constituency, the nation will be informed as to how the particular issue will be accounted for. Thank you. I think I did address the issue, the first part from KBN, pure in terms of stakeholder engagement and addressing concerns from the media. On the second part, most of what you narrated there, we're learning those facts for the first time, except for two comments to make. Firstly, without specifics of, you did allude to an official of the NGOCC that was, may have been arrested, without necessarily giving a detailed comment to it, but suffice to note that the law is very clear around usage of electronic devices in a polling station. And that is prohibited. In terms of the circumstances at the University of Zambia, once again, it's an item that will be addressed as the Commission announces results for Munali, is it Roma constituency? No, I get Roma, right? Yeah, Roma constituency. So we have a detailed report from our returning officer that they did follow procedure in administering the poll at the polling stations at the University of Zambia. In terms of deployment of the other security agencies besides the police, this, for those of you who have followed the electoral process, this is not the first time. During the 2021 general election, during the announcements of results again, right here at the National Results Center, we did, the Commission did have the support, not only of the police, but other law enforcement agencies. But what is important to note is that in all these undertakings, necessary protocols are followed, which the respective law enforcement agencies ensure that are adhered to so that everything is done in accordance with the law. So be rest assured that their presence is for purposes of ensuring that the process is secure and the citizens feel secure. And you will note that when it comes to polling stations or totaling centers, they are never inside. They are outside to ensure that there's law and order. And our officials are undertaking their assignments with the necessary appropriate environment. There was a comment around declaration, the declaration of one candidate as a winner, and what administrative and other measures as the Commission has undertaken. Let's note that, firstly, the issuance of the statement itself was an administrative measure where the Commission reiterated the legal position around the fact that it's only the Commission that is mandated to announce and indeed declare any election results. An offense remains an offense, and the Commission, as was indicated in the statement yesterday, has taken note, and these will be addressed as we proceed. I think the comment from Mr. Mvula is, okay, the first is actually acknowledged around the power and authority of the Electoral Commission. The issue of mis and disinformation, yes, firstly, the first strategy is the establishment of this very center, and what we're doing currently is one of those measures that the Commission has put in place so that citizens out there are provided with an opportunity to get first-hand facts around the management of this process, specifically the 2026 general election and indeed the presidential election results. Where it is blatant disinformation, again, an offense remains an offense. These are being taken note, and in some instances, other agencies of government are taking proactive action. But you must recall also that at this point, the focus of the Commission is to ensure that we conclude the results receipt, verification, and announcement so that the declaration of the presidential election results is undertaken as soon as possible. I think in some way I have addressed the issue raised by the NRPUP representative in terms of have we seen Mr. Sampa's post and so forth. An offense remains an offense, and the Commission has taken note, and we will proceed as such. In terms of what happened to the stolen, I think I've addressed that. So as the results for the respective constituencies are announced, great detail will be provided so that the nation can rest assured that everything has been taken into account in the tabulation of the results. When the Commission does share information, great consideration is done in terms of what would be provided for purposes of explaining its decisions. I would want to take the comment that it's half-baked to be an opinion, because when it comes to what the Commission shares, it's very deliberate about what needs to be taken out there for the nation to appreciate the rationale behind the reason, rather the rationale behind the decision. Now, suffice also to add that when you are dealing with a security situation, you can only disclose so much for purposes of risking further insecurity. So a decision was made, and the decision was publicized. The Commission came before the nation and undertook that decision publicly. So let's rest assured that it was done in the best interest. And as earlier indicated, a commitment was undertaken to review, which was done way sooner than the 24 hours that had been placed on the table. So let's proceed with that understanding. I think I have addressed the first part of Mr. Samoa's intervention, and the next was more of a comment around the process, as it were. Thank you. Come.
Thank you, CEO. With your indulgence, let me get the last round of questions. Stakeholders would like to sit here and interact with you more, but you will remember the Commission has made a commitment to come back for results announcement at 13 hours. We will need to go back and begin to prep around 13 hours. We'll continue interacting as long as we are here. So my good gentleman, who went to the podium, please proceed to ask your question. Mr. Kasonde Mwenda, if you can go to the podium at the back over there. I'm assuming those are the only two questions. Mr. Mwanza, I'll beg that for now, let's just allow those two. We will come back for more interactions. Like I've indicated, we are not curtailing the conversation, but we also need to manage the time we are spending here for the bigger picture. Let's proceed.
Thank you very much. I'm Joseph Kaputula from Phoenix FM. Now, seeing that much of the focus is more on presidential updates, I would just want to find out when the Commission will start updating the website on MP or Member of Parliament results. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, and good morning. Kasonde Mwenda, representative of the Tonse Pamozi Alliance. We appreciate your giving us this opportunity because indeed we were worried when we were starved of such important interactions. So we commend you for coming back. First one is an issue that is causing a lot of anxiety with regards how the information has been managed after the resumption of the voting and counting process. It was done impromptu and it was done with immediate effect. But some of the salient issues that have arisen is that people want to know at the time of departure from counting and announcement up until the time of resumption of counting and announcement, what is and what was the state of the polling material. Why this is of serious concern is because it has created a lot of anxiety, because the information that a lot of people are sitting on is that by large, most of the material was already counted. So we'd want clarity, or at least guidance, as we got from the previous address by the ECZ chairperson, who had vehemently put it across that polling had happened exclusively and well at all polling stations. But now with regards counting, we needed to be guided the extent to which the counting had been done and concluded, because we are having the fear that what is being purported on the ground, if at all it is true, that it is not a continuation of the count, but a recount that has been caught, is very worrying, because most of the information that we have on the ground, not with the interest to alarm, but to seek clarity, is that when people were moved from the polling stations, some of them just saw soldiers and they scampered and ran. Those are critical stakeholders, but upon resumption, what modalities were put in place that it was not a continuation or a recount that was exclusively to the officials of ECZ? Would want your clarity for you to give us at what moment you went in, what measures you put in, that the continuation was not an exclusive privilege that has been done by ECZ and a few were privileged, because you resumed counting almost immediately, and we don't know what happened to those unfortunate who had fled the polling station. Some had been beaten and kicked. So we'd want to be guided.
Mr. Kasonde Mwenda, sir.
Secondly,
please wind up your questions if you can, but also can we mind if are we able to substantiate some of the words we are using? We are not here to alarm, but only speak to things you can substantiate. But please proceed to wind up your question.
Thank you so much. You know, you starved us these questions. If you had allowed conversation, we wouldn't be, because this is just one of the 4 questions I have.
The more reason you should summarize your questions.
I'll tackle them, bring them to you. Don't rush me. I came rushing because in the first place, you're not giving us timelines. I was taking a shower, and what do I see?
Mr. Mwenda, we are not here to do a back and forth with each other. The Commission has given you an opportunity. We are guiding, just like we've guided everybody. Please, can we not get to this? Ask your questions, and if you can, please summarize. Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity. We have also given you an opportunity. It's not like you are giving only us. So, you even made me lose my thought. So, would want clarity on that matter. Second one, we are stakeholders. I think this should be understood. Of course, we are not perfect. There will be mistakes. We'll correct each other with due respect. And we are appealing to you, the ECZ. You are the referees. Us, the players, should not only be important, but also feel to be important and protected by you. Because I don't know how you are going to referee this election if we are not there, or if we are threatened, or if we are ambushed. Right now, on us as the NRPUP, we are in a place where, as your players in this election you have called, we have received a lot of harassments. With all due respect, and I must commend the CEO, that he made a very important pronouncement in the previous address when he talked to us, saying those results that are announced at the polling station are legitimate. They can be shared. I think those are his actual words. I beg to be corrected. But he said those that are declared by the returning officer are legitimate, they can be relied on, and they can be shared. And Zambians should not feel like they are committing a crime when they share that information, guided by the CEO that is legitimate. That then means that, of course, it is a preserve of the ECZ to make a declaration of the winner. But it is no offense for you to make an announcement of how you have performed, based on the information that has been legally made available to you as legitimate by the ECZ. And it is that information that is coming from the ECZ at polling centers that we are capturing for our PVT, which is our constitutional right. So we would not be comfortable with innuendos of intimidation, painting it like we have done an illegality. For us to make assessment and position ourselves, for instance, as having a strong foot in winning this election, it is not a crime. You are the one giving us the numbers. And trust me, we have the capability to compute those and be able to assess, not to declare that we have won, but to tell our position that with the numbers you are giving us, we are in poor position. We are not saying you have no consequence. You are of consequence, but don't criminalize even what is in the ambit of the law. Going forward, we would want to put it across that you also take interest in what is happening to some of the accredited political players, some of them who are incarcerated. I think if people are in your courts, it will be polite for you to even notify the country saying, some people broke the law, electoral law, according to your interpretation, and such measures have been taken. Because right now, we are busy looking for some accredited members who are probably in custody.
Mr. Mwenda,
please. Making me lose my thought.
No. Let's do this. When we guide, we have guided. What you're giving us is now going outside. You said you have 4 questions. We've given you the platform. Please try as much as possible to summarize. We have given you the opportunity, and we've said, can we quickly do this?
Okay,
Are you able to conclude your other 2 questions?
Sure. So there are a number of accredited members of ECZ who are in custody. We are indulging you respectfully that you take interest. We shouldn't be moving around looking for people who have disappeared. It is causing unnecessary tension. We have members of our party who are missing, who are accredited, and you should take interest. Finally, would also bring it to you. I saw how you called me out saying I just walked in. Yes, I called in because you did abracadabra, that you had called this. Give us timelines. We want to be scheduled. Thank you so much. I think it has been communicated. We appreciate it.
Thank you. A reminder to our stakeholders, we are not here to battle it out. We are not fighting anybody. We are here to have a conversation. We are giving you this platform to interact with the commission. We've been on this journey before, in this very Mulongoshi. We don't want to go back there. It is a well-known fact that we want to turn, somehow, for lack of a better word, such interactions into a circus. I think we will listen to you, but don't begin to also push us to have a back and forth with you. I don't think it is right. So with that said, if you need us, we will still be available to have conversations even outside the main briefings that we have. The CEO has committed, we are available. So with this, CEO, maybe you can wind up our responses.
Thank you. Joseph Phoenix, I think we addressed that question earlier, that remember that results for the National Assembly are finalized at the constituency level, so those can be accessed, but this is not to indicate that it's not important that the Commission shares centrally. I just indicated that please appreciate that for the Commission now the priority is to focus on the presidential election for obvious reasons. But as that when we get that opportunity, we will update the nation. But that doesn't mean that you have a blackout in this same window. Please, through your respective offices and so forth, get in touch with the returning officers. You will be availed with the declared winners for the members of parliament in the respective constituencies. I do take note that Mr. Kasonde's submission, most of them were really statements that may not require my response, but I just wish to address one issue. The suspension, resumption, and what were the implications. I think the statement from the chairperson was very clear, and the operative word there was resume. And within the provisions of the law and procedures. So if a station was counting, then you resume counting, and we know who is allowed to attend the count: agents, monitors, and observers, besides the commission staff. So that was the commission directive in that lifting of the suspension. For those that had already counted, resuming means you proceed to the next stage, which was take the results to the totaling center for purposes of the returning officer, adding them up, that is for the presidential election, and announcing the results for that constituency and transmission to Lusaka. So there is no recount. There's a procedure in the law for a request for a recount. As far as we're concerned, we have not yet received a report from a presiding officer that received a submission for any recount at any polling station. So that is the position with respect to that. I think the rest of the items, as I indicated, were comments that have been taken note of. So once again, with that, we will continue to update the nation, and maybe for the sake of repeating, the Commission is scheduled to do 2 announcements of results today. The first at 13 hours, and on a lighter note, I've taken longer than I was instructed to do here. I pray it does not affect the 13 hours, or rather the team here is part of a key chain in that verification process, so we'll see how we can work double speed to ensure that we keep to our commitment for 13 hours. And then the second is scheduled for 20 hours this evening. I thank you.
Thank you. With that, we've come to the end of our briefing.
Madam, excuse me. I've just woken up from the bedroom to come here.
We will beg to move.
I'm the secretary to the Council President in the UPND Alliance.
Can I check with you, sir?
To the UCZ.
The issue of questions now is over. Any political party that has got questions, let them write to you, the commissioner. Your time and your dedication right now, let it be to you announce the elections, not people coming here trying to alarm the situation. We don't want that. You ECZ right now, can you focus on the announcing of the elections, not this what we are hearing here.
I think
it is not fair. Look, these are confused people. They're trying to confuse the nation.
Okay,
we cannot allow that.
Can we end here?
Can you focus on the announcing of the elections? And let everybody do the same. Not what is happening here. It's not fair. Pakasalo Amdala, the Zambia is depending on you. And this body, and this is the only body, they have got that kind of illusion in their mind to say they have won these elections. You are the only body to announce.
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me.
Yes, madam.
May I request, we have closed this session.
I appreciate it. That's why I'm in the pajamas.
The feedback has been received and we'll beg to move for now. Thank you.
Right now, I'm in the pajamas. This nonsense should not continue. Zambia is big. Zambia is big.